know the Houston Texans are in the playoffs. We know they've clinched the division. And now the biggest question, maybe not the biggest, but a question around Texans community is, should the Texans be resting their players? I'll tell you why not in just a moment. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead. Your host, as always, Harley Dugan. This is The Lead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. You're never going to find anybody with more passion speaking about your favorite Houston sports teams than this guy right here. Astros, Rockets, Texans. We try to do it all. So go down in the comment section. Let me know, what is your opinion around the Texans' upcoming games in terms of resting players? That is a conversation that the Texans community has had for a little while, since clinching the division, since winning and being in the playoffs. And 3 games left. Shout out to the Texans for completing that task, man. That's a hell of a task to complete, considering how this season has gone so far. It doesn't feel like this team is 9-5, but yet here we are, 9-5, sophomore slump, you can call it. I'll take it any day of the week. You're the AFC South Division champs. And maybe there's some noise that could be made for this Houston Texans team. And it ain't a maybe. You know what? There will be some noise made this year for this team. But I'm not with this conversation around resting players. Now, look, I understand this sentiment of the argument. You are pretty much pigeonholed between the 3rd or the 4th slot. You have already clinched the division. When you look at the rest of the teams in here, you know, the Bills have 3 losses. The Steelers just lost to the Eagles. So, you know, considering the Steelers also have to play the Baltimore Ravens, you're looking at a team that can move down and you could potentially move up. But the 3 seed, 4 seed, like, you're in between playing the Los Angeles Chargers or the Denver Broncos. And, you know, you're kind of just like, you don't know whether or not, and there we go, fix the little layout there. You don't know whether or not who you want to face. It doesn't really matter. Ravens, there's also an option there. The Steelers could be an option if they tumble and maybe the bottom falls out for them in the rest of their games. Who knows? But the Houston Texans, with the next 2 games coming up, you're facing the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. And in those games, you are facing the 2 best quarterbacks, two of the top 3 quarterbacks. There we go. 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. And you can't tell me that you want to rest players, that you want to sit them out because you want to be healthy for the playoffs, and then be the same person to be like, oh, man, we need to go for it on 2. Oh, man, we need to be more risky. Oh, man, the Texans, there's too many choir boys on the team. Oh, they're too nice. Oh, F that, man. We're not here to rest players. Hell no. You know, we're not here to do that. If it's the last game of the season, sure, go for it. You're talking about, there is no other team that I know of in the NFL that has rested players with 3 games left to go. I just don't never see that. Don't ever really see that. Joe Mixon practiced yesterday, so I'm expecting Joe Mixon to play this Sunday. I could understand maybe a case to let him rest, but you're facing the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens, and you're looking at a measuring stick opponent for you. You want to showcase to the world that you can beat these teams. You have not. The stigma behind the Houston Texans is that they have not beaten the big teams. And this is an opportunity to slay giants. This is an opportunity to showcase to the world that you can beat these teams and you can gain some confidence in this team that we can. Evidently, you prove it on the field that you can beat a Kansas City Chiefs, you can beat a Baltimore Ravens, and you feel a bit more confident going into a playoff game with actual wins against them in the regular season. Oh, no, but what if you play the Ravens just a few weeks later? They're going to know your offensive game plan. They're going to know what you want to do, your tendencies. And we're not going to know their tendencies. Like, it takes 2 to tango here. There are 2 teams on the field. The Houston Texans should be playing their players. They should. There is no such thing as we got to rest them and make sure they're healthy for the playoffs. Sure, there ain't no team healthy for the playoffs, first of all. There ain't none, okay? Sure, do we want to be 110% ready for the playoffs? Absolutely. We could do that when we get there in week 18. But in terms of the Chiefs and the Ravens, the top teams in the NFL, the top teams year in and year out, and you get an opportunity to showcase how good your team is compared to them, you should absolutely take it, and you should show the rest of this NFL that you can beat good teams and that this ain't the same old Houston Texans. That is the stigma that the fan bases outside of Houston have, and it's pretty fair that they have that statement, because when you look at this team, yes, they beat the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills is a very different team from when we beat them, and now as Josh Allen is playing into another different stratosphere. And I want to see what this defense can do against a Patrick Mahomes and against a Lamar Jackson and Andy Reid's offense and Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry's offense. I want to see what this defense can do with the bright lights on them against these guys, as well as this Texans team. You should be wishing for this Texans team to beat the Chiefs, to beat the Ravens. You should not be, oh man, they should have rested their players. That's what a lot of people are going to say if they take these L's. Oh, they should have just rested them. It didn't matter anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry. It matters to them players out there for damn sure. The Houston Texans should not be resting anybody. This offense should not be resting anybody for anything, okay? This offense definitely should not have anyone taking a nap at home while someone else is out onto the field. No. We don't need to be seeing that. That offense, their ass needs to be on that field 24/7. The Houston Texans should be playing their players for the rest of the year. Titans game could be a different story. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.